welcome to a Chessima Chess. We are approaching Yuletide in the part of the world where I live, Christmas as it is also called. So I will put on what we in Danish call a nissehue. Just give me a second. So here it is, even though you won't be able to see it for most of the video. And I know that many of you awesome people do not celebrate Christmas, but you are, of course, absolutely welcome here in our little celebration as well. Everybody is welcome here. Today we will look at a classical game from way back in the day that features an insane checkmate, a unique checkmate that I have never seen before, and it is very cool. Before we get to that, let me address the little book here and the very cool pen that I got as a gift. From Study Queen, isn't it cool? So I have used this and my little book to write down some announcements that I will make today about the future of the channel for 2024. So I wrote them down to be sure not to forget. So first of all, thank you for a wonderful year. The ASMR Chess audience is the best audience of all the people on the internet, and I am very serious about that. I feel extremely blessed that you people are so awesome. So we'll put a little check mark for saying thank you. And I have been reading all of your comments, and I've noticed a lot of comments asking for a return to more classical ASMR chess videos. So that means more classical games, and it means a greater focus on ASMR. And I hear you loud and clear, and I will make more classical videos focusing on ASMR. Can I do an ASMR sound here? I guess I can. Cool. Do a little check mark there. And then I want to thank you all for the very warm welcome of Study Queen and coming over there and subscribing to her channel. It means a lot to both of us. We are very, very happy about that. And I am helping her do the videos and helping out with editing and stuff still. And it looks like she will be able to put out about one video every week, most weeks. So that's her plan for now. So that is Study Queen. And then my last thing is my brand new goal for 2024. So I have been working a little bit with the numbers and looking at my logistics of the channel to figure out what I can and can't do. And my goal is to publish 2 videos a week instead of just 1 video per week. If that goal is to be attainable, I probably will need your help. So here is the deal. I am currently at about $700 per month on Patreon. if I get to increase that to the goal of $1,500 per month, I can take enough time off from work to make an additional video at least every single week. So, of course, if you are happy with just one video every week, no need. If you do not have the means to support or don't feel that the content is worth it, do not feel that I'm trying to push you. This is more like you can help me, I can help you if you want 2 videos per week. So I hope that was not too commercial thinking or whatever. So okay, so those are the announcements. Last, I'll just repeat my sincere thanks for your support and for my sincere thanks for your general awesomeness in the comments. It's just amazing how cool you guys are, how cool you people are. Our game today is an unnamed player in a simultaneous exhibition playing against Joseph Henry Blackburne in a simultaneous exhibition in 1871 in Norwich, England. And Blackburn faces pawn to e4 on the first move. You can see that is a green move indicated by the chess up board. The intelligence inside this board says that this is a great move. Blackburn responds with another green move, pawn coming to e5. If you do not know this chessboard, it's called Chess Up 2. It has a little touchscreen here. It has in Chess AI built in. It has Wi-Fi so that you can go online on chess.com and play against other people, or you can play against your friends and family on the board, and you can have it teach you things, and it can give you hints like we are doing here, where we can see, for instance, this knight has a green move coming here. Good idea. A blue move here, it's okay, but it's not recommended. Blue move here. Maybe there is a red move somewhere. Yeah, for instance, this pawn coming here, that's a red move, because it could be captured by the bishop, so that would be a mistake. And yeah, you can mess around with the settings for this, for the level of hints that you would like. And if you want to buy the board with a 10% discount, I of course have a link and promo code in the description. Okay, so Blackburn was facing knight to f3, and he played knight to c6. This is old book, and now we saw the Italian opening with the bishop coming to c4, a very classic opening that has been played in chess for, well, today more than 400 years. We have games with this opening. It's a very good opening. Blackburn responds with the theoretical move. Yeah. So the bishop comes here, c5, and his opponent castles the green move, what theory suggests, and Blackburn develops his other knight with knight coming to f6 with an attack on the pawn on e4. I've chosen to show you this game because of these two knights. On chessgames.com, which is an excellent site where you can find historical chess games, they give like special pun names to the games if they are famous or cool or interesting in any way. And the name of this this game is Boogie Nights, but not Boogie Nights like in the movie. Boogie Nights like these nights are going to boogie. And I can almost promise you for certain you have never seen what these knights are going to do. You have never seen that in a chess game before, I'm pretty sure. I had never seen it at least. So, pawn to d3 protects the pawn here from the attack. And we see a like idea, pawn coming to d6, defending this pawn, but it was already defended by the knight, so why do we need to defend it once more? Maybe the knight is already thinking about getting to boogie a little bit. And we have notes to the game by Blackburn, and his note to the pawn here coming to h3, which the computer likes the chessboard, likes the move, but Blackburn says that this loses time. It is not ambitious enough, and his answer is very interesting. The knight goes on a journey. The knight goes on a knight's tour. The knight goes on an adventure. First, it comes back to the king and the queen to receive his orders. My liege, my king, my queen, I shall do so. I hope you can forgive me a little silliness. And here we see the class difference between the two players, because white are again going to lose time with this bishop move coming to the blue square here, g5. That is not a recommended move. And why would that be? The idea is to capture the knight, and then the pawn would have to recapture, and then there would be double pawns here. That's the idea, at least. But the problem with that plan is it's not very good, because this bishop is really needed to defend the center, and these two double pawns actually not going to be a weakness, because you can imagine if this pawn goes here, then this rook can come here and look at this pawn. This bishop is attacking here, and the queen can also join the attack, and the king could castle to the queen side. So not a very good plan. And pawn to c6 is the answer. And the idea with that move is to push this pawn, and now it would be defended once, twice, and 3 times. That means black would get the advantage in the center, with the center in black's control, this bishop pointing at the f2 pawn, and the king would be very strong. And to our opponents, or to Blackburn's opponents' credit, they realize it and place bishop back to oppose this bishop here, so that they have lost time now 2 times, moving this pawn, which was not strictly necessary, and getting the bishop first to the wrong square and then to the right square. So black is ahead now in tempo, in development. Blackburn slides his bishop back. Why? Because he's okay with exchanging these bishops, but he doesn't want to use this pawn to recapture with, because he wants to have the option of pushing this pawn in the center. So if bishop takes bishop now, you can see we can just recapture with this pawn, opening up the rook, no problem at all. Now it's time for white to develop this knight. Can go to d2 or c3. Why is c3 chosen? Well, to vacate the d2 square, and we will see in just a little while why. The knight's journey the knight's tour, the knight's adventure continues with the green move, knight coming to g6, like so. So you can see these knights are getting ready to boogie a little bit. Keep an eye out for the f4 square here. A knight landing there could spell trouble for white. Now we see the queen coming to d2. Just a blue move, but it explains why the knight came to c3, so that there would be room for the queen on d2. This bishop is pretty strong, so Blackburn plays bishop to e6. Not a strictly necessary move, perhaps, but still a nice move to oppose this bishop. Bishop drops back. Should maybe have considered capturing here, but it's a hard move to play. Looks a little better, a little safer to play the bishop back to b3. But we will see why maybe we should have captured here. White should have captured here. Now black just castles their king. And we see the rook coming from a1 to d1. So we can see the scheme of development for white, putting the knight on c3, so the queen can come to d1, so the rook can come from a1 to d1, working in a battery with the queen. So maybe one day we can push this pawn and have this battery going. If that does not work out, we have this battery with the queen and the bishop. So it looks very, very nice for white. But Joseph Henry Blackburne, the Black Death, they called him, was a dangerous opponent. And there are some inaccuracies in white's setup here that he will work to exploit. So he starts out with queen to d7. And white feels that it is time to try to break open the game, and therefore plays the knight coming back to h2 with a very specific idea to be able to play this pawn to f4 and start an attack with this battery and opening up the rook, looking at the black king. And now Blackburn plays some what we would call romantic chess, and I think we will see some red moves from Blackburn. Now I'm curious to see how correct what he's doing is, because he's going nuts now. He sees an attack and he's going nuts with the attack. So bishop takes pawn on h3, and actually it's not a red move. It's not a green move, but it is blue, so it is playable. Now that is a sacrifice. And the idea is that if pawn takes bishop, the queen will come in here where the bishop is right now. The queen will come in here. And with the queen here, the knight can come here and threaten a checkmate here. And the problem with that for white is that in principle you could play this pawn up to have a lateral defense of the g2 square by the queen. But look at this bishop. The bishop would in that scenario be able to play bishop takes bishop with check to the king. Yep. And the queen would have to recapture, and then g2 no longer protected, and the checkmate would occur. Which explains why we saw bishop takes bishop, which is a green move, of course. But I believe that pawn takes bishop may be better, although it's going to be extremely hard to defend. But it is a green move to capture the bishop. And Blackburn's notes suggests that perhaps he should just have recaptured here. But he was in an adventurous mood, and therefore he went for something very beautiful that may not be correct. So he didn't recapture. Let's take a look here. Recapturing is blue, so it's not necessarily the best move. Is the best move to save the bishop? No. But there is a blue move here, so you could capture here. Interesting. What about a knight? Aha, the knight coming here. Well, Blackburn did really want to put the knight there with the bishop out of the way so it can't be captured. But he had this crazy idea to say, I said, put the bishop here to sacrifice it. I will force you to capture the bishop. So bishop coming to g2. He played not capturing here, not trying to save the bishop. No. So the king did capture the bishop, because otherwise actually queen coming to h3 protects the bishop. We can then capture perhaps the rook, and we can get the knights in, and the boogie will be overwhelming. And yeah, don't blame it on the good knights, don't blame it on the bad bishops, blame it on the boogie. And also it is Yuletide, so we could say tingle bell, tingles all the way. Sorry. King takes bishop, like so. The point, of course, knight to f4 with check. The knight is ready to boogie. So how do we deal with this check? We have 3 legal moves. We can capture with the queen, but that's a red move because we just lose the queen. Or we can move the king, g1 or h1. And g1, not so good. Let's take a look at why. If we put the king on g1, you can see queen coming here, and actually stopping this checkmate is going to be extremely, extremely difficult. So the king went instead to h1. And now the queen could still come to h3, but rook to g1 could be played to help defend. So instead, we just saw pawn takes bishop, another green move. Pawn takes bishop, like so. And we know that the queen is coming in here at some point. She really is. She wanted to go there and have this checkmate threat, which is why we saw pawn to f3. Which color is that? Just blue. I suspect rook g1 is better to defend g2 with the rook. It's more active, but here it's blue protecting with the queen. And blame it on the boogie. Knight comes to h5. with a check here that it is threatening. That would win the exchange. So knight here, check to the king and the rook. So the rook moved, and I still want the rook to go to g1, but white missed the absolute beauty of what Blackburn had in mind, and thought that they had the time to play rook to f2. Rook to g1, absolutely necessary in this position. Rook to f1 is too ambitious. The idea is to use this rook to defend here and have room for the other rook to join the defense on g1. Problem is, there is not enough time, because the game ends in, well, to call it spectacular fashion is almost an understatement. We do get the knight check. Boogie is about to commence. So there's only one legal move. Cannot capture the knight. Nothing can move. And the king cannot go here because of this knight taking the square. So king coming to g1 is the only move. And now black is going to just make the coolest threat ever. Queen coming to h3. So this, of course, looks extremely, extremely dangerous. But it is not clear how should we say, how black can get a checkmate on the board from this, because it looks very dangerous, but there are a lot of defensive pieces here. There's the knight, rook, queen, backing up the rook, this rook also ready. These pawns are hard to get through, so it's hard to get any other angle on the attack. Of course, as well, white is a bishop up. We have two knights versus two knights, two rooks versus two rooks, queen versus queen, but there is this extra bishop. So when calculating all of this, white thought that there was time to start the counterattack. White thought that checkmate was not imminent, that it was adequately defended, because the checkmate that is being threatened is kind of crazy. So knight, so the pawn comes here to d4, which is a losing blunder. That should be a red move, but even the powerful chess AI is too conservative to consider what black's idea is, at least for now. So pawn to d4 was played. And can you, in this position, spot what was missed by the computer and by white in this position? So it's called boogie knights. These knights are ready to boogie, and they're saying, you know, we don't really need the queen. The queen is in the way, actually. If we get the queen out of here, maybe going back here or something, we have a very nice square for the knight here coming to h3 with a check. The problem in that situation is that the king could then go to g2. Cannot go to f1, covered by the knight. Cannot go to h1, covered by the knight. And but it cannot stay there. It's check. And the knight from that position would also attack f2, the square with this rook. Wait a minute. The king cannot go here right now, cannot go here right now, cannot go here right now, wouldn't be able to go there, so the only square would be this one. Can we make that inaccessible? in a way. Can we make it so the king cannot go here? By force, actually, we can. And I think the engine, after thinking about it a little bit, sees the correct idea. Let's take a look. Yes, it understands that none of these moves will work. Only one move works. Queen comes to g2 with check. So the queen is, of course, defended by the knight, but it can be captured by the rook. And that's the only legal move. King cannot capture here, cannot move here, cannot move here, and no other piece can capture the queen. So rook takes queen. Green move, not because it's like winning, it's losing by force, but it's the only legal move. So takes here and blame it on the boogie. The knight will come here and look at that. That is checkmate. So there is only one way to make this checkmate possible, and it is to have the king exactly at a side of the board, and it is to have exactly these two squares covered by friendly pieces, and then to have these two knights on exactly these squares. It's the only way you can do it. And I've never seen it before, and I think it is beautiful. And I think you are beautiful, and I hope you had a great, relaxing time with this little ASMR chess video. I hope I will see you in the next video. I hope I will see you throughout 2025, whenever you feel like coming for some chess relaxation. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope I will see you soon.